Hey content creators, if you're wondering what cameras you should buy, I'm gonna give you some of my top picks that I recommend for beginner content creators, whether that's beauty, makeup, professional content creator, videographer, cinematographer. If you're gonna use a camera, I'm about to give you a recommendation. So if you don't know already, my name is Victor Tyler, here to give you all content creation tips to up your quality and make you confident about what you put out on the web. So usually I kind of stay away from this conversation just because there's so many different cameras, there's so many use cases for different cameras, and not every camera is going to fit you as a person. So it's almost like you have to shop around for cameras until you find the one that you love. So I'm gonna go from industry to industry and tell you my pick for the camera and why I picked that one. So let's start with cinematography. If you're starting out in your cinematography career and you're wondering what camera can you grow with, I really think that the Panasonic GH5, the Blackmagic Pro Pocket, 4K or 6K. If you can get a 6K, get that 6K. I feel like those are really two good starter options. Of course, the GH6 just came out. It's still cheap. These are my picks because as a cinematographer, you're going to be into color grading. Blackmagic has a beautiful color science, and also Panasonic does too. Panasonics are solid beginner cameras. The Blackmagic 6K and 4K both have their downfalls, which is 1, the battery life, 2, the screen doesn't flip out if you get the 4K model, and the 6K it's just really big, awkward, and bulky. Kind of ergonomic, but it's still kind of weird. Also, the downside of the 4K and the GH5 is it's a micro four thirds sensor. I don't find a problem with the micro four thirds sensor, but like, of course, a lot of people do find a problem with that because they rather have the full frame. And of course, if you like that full frame look, these aren't the cameras for you. What comes with that micro four thirds sensor is the noise. It can't perform well in low light. I don't find that much of a problem because if you're in the cinematographer route, you're gonna buy lights, you're gonna use lights to your advantage, and you're gonna be story based. So with that being said, you're going to prepare for those low light situations. You're not always going to be able to, but for the most part, you're gonna plan your shots. If you're a beauty content creator, you make makeup content, you make beauty related content. So there's a couple things I thought about recommending these cameras. One was the Sony ZV-1. The others is the Sony a6000 and 5000 series. I feel like all those are really great cameras. I chose these cameras because there's something in the community that a lot of people use, which is the soft skin filter. Of course, people are kind of stepping away from that, but if that's something that you're interested in where it kind of blurs the texture of your skin, then I feel like those are some great cameras to pick up. Of course, if you're trying to do this long term, I wouldn't say that these are the best cameras to grow with, but if you're just starting out, these are great selections. I also say these cameras because of the color science. The color science is nice and clean. If you're a videographer or content creator, I'll tell you to pick up this camera, the Sony a7S III, if you have the budget. So for just the body of the Sony a7S III, it's $3,000. So let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. It's $3,000. That's a lot of money. So if you're looking to invest in it, you're going to keep the camera for longer than 3-4 years, and you plan on making your money back, go ahead and just invest that money if you have it. If you don't, I feel like the a7 III is a great option also. a7 II also, you can't really go wrong. Content creators, I would say that if you're looking for a good hybrid camera, you want to go with the a7 III. The a7 III, without the S, are cameras that are going to be good with photos and video. Neither of them are experts in those two things. The a7S III is video focused. This a7R III is photo focused. If you're a content creator doing hybrid shooting, I would say get the a7 III, video a7S III, just to get that out there. The Canon R line, I don't feel like you're gonna go wrong with any of those cameras. If you wanna get a good hybrid shooter, a good video camera, all of those are probably your best bet. The EOS R is about 4 years old now, so it's 4 or 5 years old now, so it's a little cheaper. And I feel like that's still a great starter camera for content creators. I do really think that the Sony kind of beats the Canon over here because as beginner content creators or videographers, you're probably gonna run into low light situations. And when you run into low light situations, you don't want a bunch of noise and grain. And I've noticed with my Canon EOS R that it's not the best in low light. So I would say go ahead and go with that Sony a7S III, which has dual native ISO, just so if you don't have enough light, which you are going to run into as a videographer if you're doing events, and if you are doing content creation, you might not invest in lights in the first thing. So I would say that you would benefit from having that low light capability. All right, let's get into the next one. So for my vloggers, I feel like it's the same deal as beauty. If you're looking for that glowing skin softening effect, Sony cameras are probably the way to go. The Sony ZV-1 and of course the 5 to 6000 series. The only important thing with the vlogging cameras, you don't want these huge cameras, so I'll just be aware how big these cameras are. If you really want a low profile camera like this, I would say go for the Sony ZV-1. This right here is a Canon G7X III. This is a fantastic camera for vlogging. It has a flip out screen like that. But the only downside is the microphone. The microphone isn't the best. It's okay for starters, but I will say that you're going to want to get an external mic. And the fact that this doesn't have an external mic hookup, a 3.5mm jack, I don't know if this is the best option to grow with. Maybe to start out with, but not to grow with. So I know I probably missed a bunch of creators in this, but the point is the camera really doesn't matter. I'm gonna be honest with you. The camera doesn't matter when you're first starting off. The best camera that you can start with is the camera that you have. And most of us have phones, and I feel like a phone is a really good option. On TikTok, if you look at my TikTok, @VicIsWho, you will see that I still use my iPhone 13 Pro. Like, my main camera for TikTok and stuff is this. It's nothing fancy. Why? Is because it works. And if it works for you, it's the camera that you should use. I value efficiency a lot, so reaching in my phone and just automatically putting it on a tripod is great for me. I still use lights and stuff, but I don't see the point of getting my Canon EOS R or my cinema camera, sitting down at my desk and editing for hours when it's just quick content. So if you're looking to start off on TikTok or YouTube, just use your phone. The phone is a great option as long as you have support around your phone to make sure that you do get that good quality. It doesn't matter. As you start out, just use your phone. See if it's something you want to do. See if you're comfortable with it. Get comfortable with your phone, filming, putting it out there for the world, and then upgrade to a camera. Then spend the money, invest in whatever camera that you want. All right. I hope you enjoyed these tips. If you have more questions, leave them down below in the comments. Make sure you follow my other platforms, Instagram and TikTok @VicIsWho, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.